Hi, this is Maria from CaminoWays.com. Where does the Camino start? Most people talk about the Camino, but there are many ways, many Caminos, all leading to one place, Santiago de Compostela and the tomb of St. James in the city's cathedral. The Camino de Santiago is not just one route, but many, as traditionally the Camino started from one's home, wherever that might have been. The Way of St. James was one of the most important pilgrimages in the Middle Ages, along with Rome and Jerusalem. Rich and poor made their way to the shrine of St. James in Santiago de Compostela to redeem their sins. The earliest records of visits to St. James's in Santiago date back to the 9th century, in the time of the Kingdom of Asturias, while the 12th century Codex Calixtinus, an illustrated manuscript attributed to Pope Callixtus II, but now believed to be the work of French scholar Aymeric Picaud, is the first guide offering advice and practical information to pilgrims embarking on their journey on the Camino de Santiago. But no matter how much advice the Codex could offer, being a pilgrim in the Middle Ages was a dangerous adventure. And this is the reason many main Camino routes developed, as it would be much safer to travel on a set route along with other pilgrims, instead of negotiating quiet and more dangerous roads on their own. The most popular route and what people have come to think of as the Camino in recent decades is the so-called French Way, the Camino Frances, which you might have seen in many documentaries and movies such as The Way. This is the route starting in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in France, some 800 kilometers away from Santiago, over the French border. Saint-Jean is also where other Caminos coming from further afield converge, such as the Le Puy Way, the Bisley Way, and the Paris and Tours Way. The French Way crosses the north of Spain, from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in the Basque Country, across the Pyrenees along the Napoleon Pass to Roncesvalles, then to Pamplona, the Rioja region and its vineyards, on to Castilla-León, the vast Meseta, the breathtaking mountains of León, El Bierzo, and finally the green hills of Galicia, before reaching Santiago. The French Way was a very popular trail, one that kings, noblemen, and clergy invested in to keep pilgrims safe, building bridges, hospitals, and other infrastructure. Towns and cities sprouted and developed along the Camino Frances, but other routes followed by those living far from the French Way also appeared. These are also walked today by Camino enthusiasts, veterans, and walkers looking to experience different routes to Santiago. They are all special in their own right, and some of them are the Portuguese Way. The Portuguese Way developed for pilgrims heading north from Lisbon and Porto. This route was used by the Queen Isabel of Portugal in her pilgrimage to Santiago in the 13th century. Pilgrims from the UK and Ireland travelled by boat to the Galician coast and then continued their journey on foot along what is now called the English Way, and it starts in the port cities of Ferrol or A Coruña. What we know today as the Northern Way started in the Basque Country and headed west along the coast. It was also used by many arriving on boat to the northern ports in Spain. The original way, or Camino Primitivo, started in Oviedo, Asturias, and was the most common route until the 10th century, hence its name. And the Via de la Plata, or Camino Mozárabe, was followed by pilgrims from the south of the peninsula, all the way from Seville and North Africa. Today, the last 100 kilometers of the Via de la Plata, from the city of Ourense, is one of the most beautiful final walking sections to Santiago. So if you want to know more about all the routes of the Camino de Santiago, you can log on to www.caminoways.com